Hey everyone, we're back at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg for the very first day of the Williamsburg Food and Wine Festival. Although the one at Tampa has been going for about a month and a half now, this one just began today, April 28th. It runs until June 12th, and there are 14 different booths with various foods from around the world and also locally that you can try. There are also various wines and other alcoholic beverages you can try if you enjoy that sort of thing. And we'll be visiting all of these booths and letting you have a look at what's on the menu, and also we'll be trying a few of them ourselves so you can see what they look like. Since there are a lot of booths at the Food and Wine Festival and each one has its own separate menu with a lot of things to choose from, they also offer samplers that you can purchase for 10 items or 15 items. The 10 items can save you up to 10% and the 15 items can save you up to 20%. Obviously it depends on what you get and the cost of each item. But for our purposes, we got the 15 item sampler just so we can show you as much as possible. When you get the sampler, they give you a lanyard and they also give you a guide to the festival, which includes a little pocket-sized version of every single menu as well as a map of where all the booths are. So I'll take one and I'll see if I can flip through it one-handed. Here's an example of one page. Thank you. Brazil, Jamaica, iron freeze, herbal infusion, and there's about 10-15 pages like this in here for all the different booths. We'll be visiting each one, taking a look at the menu and seeing what they have to offer. So the first sign you come to as you enter the park, if you go straight across the bridge, is for Virginia. Simple enough. Virginia offers some seafood items: Virginia oyster on a half shell, sea crab soup, bacon and cheddar hush puppies, a selection of local beers, some wines, and a couple of cocktails, as well as one non-alcoholic drink. Across from that, it's a signpost giving you information about the state of Virginia. All four sides have different bits of information. And here's an example of the sea crab soup from Virginia. As you can see, the lighting is different now. It's nighttime. And that's because we walked around the whole park before we came back here to finally get this soup. This is one of the stations where the cash registers were down when we first tried earlier today to get food. So we've got it now at the end of the day. Next up is one of my favorite booths on this Food and Wine Festival this year, the Japan booth. On their menu they have an impasa bao for the vegan option here, a spicy tuna sushi cup, mushi gyoza, matcha ice cream. They have a sake, and they have a specialty bubble tea. Get a good look at the booth over here. Very well themed with the yin-yangs all over. Across the way, some information about Japan. On this side, some information about various aspects. Information about some food on this side. And on the third side, not counting this one, trivia about sake. Next up we have the Italy region. I'm not sure why they phrase it Italy region. The sign outside of the booth has this information about Italy. Strangely enough, one of their sides is back here where there's a garden, so I can't really get a good look at the information. And I see, looking at this now, I understand why it says Italy region, because here, this side's the cuisine side, this side's the region side, and the last side is the drink side. Here's a look at the selections on the Italy menu. Have a caprese, creamy mushroom risotto, sun-dried tomato alfredo, and a cannoli. And they have some wine samples and some cordials. Here's a look at the risotto that they have available. The risotto has some prosciutto on top of it, a sprinkle of pesto sauce, some Parmesan cheese, and it's a wild mushroom risotto. So you can see there's generous helping of mushrooms in it. Over near the bridge between Festa Italia and Oktoberfest is the Sangria Garden. To no one's surprise, they serve various types of sangria. There's a red, a white, a rose, a frozen red, and a sangria flight. You can also upgrade to a souvenir cup for $2 extra. It may or may not be rosé. I'm going to say rose. Off topic a little bit, but because we were in the neighborhood, this basketball game over here in the Italy section had its name changed to Pantheon Hoops. And all of the artwork was removed from the backdrop. Here's a look at the sign outside the South Korea booth. And the booth itself over here menu: chicken bulgogi, beef bulgogi, Korean barbecue pork ribs, and a Korean soju cocktail, as well as a banana milk, and banana, vanilla, or chocolate. Banana flavored banana milk sounds good to me. Here's a look at the chicken bulgogi. It's Korean chicken on a bed of rice with some scallions on top. And I have to say, the Korean booth so far has smelled the best of any that we've come across today. Australia and South Korea are the two new offerings this year for the Williamsburg Food and Wine Festival. They're both located back near Pantheon, probably because they know that's where most of the crowd is going to be. Here's the signboard for Australia. Here's a look at what's available in Australia's menu. We have a lamb chop, snag on the Barbie, which is a banger sausage, a Lamington cake. They offer some Foster's beer, some wine, an Aussie mule, and a ginger beer. Here's a look at the lamb chop. It's covered in a cilantro mint sauce. It's basically just a lollipop, so it shouldn't be too difficult to eat. It looks really good though, so I'm excited to try it. Across the bridge in Oktoberfest, they have Iceland's Freeze, which is the frozen beverage bar that they converted. The sign over here says Island Freeze, even though the other sign doesn't say that. They have Pina Colada, Bahama Mama, Strawberry Daiquiri. Basically just a bunch of frozen mixed drinks. A couple of beers, a couple of cocktails, including a Pantheon Hurricane. Pantheon Hurricane sounds interesting. Over at the Herbal Infusion stand, they have infused wine and cocktails and a specialty lavender lemonade. Here's a look at the watermelon mojito with the mint leaves on top and a hand for size reference. Here we are at Jamaica. Jamaica's menu includes a Jamaican patty, some fritters, a slider, pineapple upside down cake, some beer, some wine, frozen cocktails. Across the way, the signpost for Jamaica, information about the region. Disregard this side. The cuisine. And drinks. Of course, especially focused on rum. The Jamaica stand is especially interesting. At the far end is a lighthouse that they've installed recently. Here at the colorful Brazil Pavilion, on the Brazil menu, we have some churrasco. Actually, most of these things I can't pronounce because I don't speak Portuguese, but there are also some wines and especially frozen Brazilian lemonade. The sign in front of Brazil includes their drinks, information about the country, and of course, information about the food. And although it talks about some of the items on the menu, it does not explain how to pronounce them. Okay, so I'm probably going to embarrass myself trying to say this name, but I think this is called a caipirinha drink that they have at the Brazil stand. And this is a sampler size. Yet again, a hand for size reference. In the United States, but specifically Louisiana, we have the French Quarter. These are mostly covering the food dishes they have there, including the beignet, which I personally enjoy a lot. The French Quarter menu consists of jambalaya, muffaletta, beignets, banana foster cheesecake, 2 beers, a wine, and a hurricane. It feels like Mardi Gras all over again. And here's a look at the French Quarter sign, which is sitting completely separate from the rest of the French Quarter items. Here we are at the Mexico booth, which is one of the more nicely decorated booths I've seen here today. The menu for the Mexico booth is relatively simple. Crispy shrimp taco, carne asada taco, a chili chocolate horchata mousse, and a specialty horchata drink. The Mexico signpost covers their drinks. The region. And yet again, another one that's in the flowers, the cuisine. I can barely get a good look at it, but here's an idea of what it's like. I don't want to step on the flowers too much. Although this didn't actually come from one of the Food and Wine Festival booths, you can buy wine here, and since it's the Food and Wine Festival, I figured this was appropriate. You can also get this souvenir glass that has Busch Gardens Williamsburg on one side, and the name of the place we got the wine from, La Belle Wine Bar over in the France area on the back. It's a plastic cup, but it's pretty sturdy. Yep. Margarita stand is kind of tucked away back here. And then you see lime margarita, watermelon margarita, a couple of beers, a couple of wines. Nothing that really stands out. Here we are at a Tiki Bar, and what a Tiki Bar means is Hawaii. Here's a look at the Hawaii menu. They have Hawaiian mac and cheese, some spam musubi, tuna poke, pineapple coconut mousse, a few beers, a few wines, a few frozen cocktails, and a hibiscus lemonade. And if you couldn't already tell, there's a lot of alcohol here. The signpost is around the corner. Some information about Hawaii, including Hawaiian beer over here. Some information about Hawaii as a state. And again, near some plants, so it's hard to get. Some other information about Hawaii. I'll try my best to get as much as I can. Here's an example of the pineapple coconut mousse, complete with a wedge of pineapple in there. It looks delicious. And last but not least, here we are at the Greece booth. I had misspoken earlier and said that South Korea was one of the new booths this year. They actually only have some new menu items that they didn't have last year, which is true for most of these. They have some new items, which is nice to see, keeps things fresh. But for the brand new Greece booth, here's a look at their menu. Lamb burger slider, spanakopita. Yet again, not very good with the Greek, but here's an idea of what they serve. A couple of wines, Cabernet Chardonnay, some ouzo shots, ouzo lemonade, and an iced cafe au lait, which is French, so I'm not entirely sure why it's here, but there you have it. Here's a nice look at the Greece sign out in front of the building. This is one of the few food and wine festival stops that is actually inside of a building. And finally, here's a look at the signpost out in front of the Greece area. The food. The drink. And swinging around to the other side, not this side. Again, it's up against plants, so it's hard to see, but the region area. Can't get it very well because shadow covers it, but give you an idea of what it looks like. So there you have it for the 2022 Busch Gardens Williamsburg Food and Wine Festival. As you can see, it's pretty much nighttime at this point. That's a testament to how long it took us to get around the park. It's pretty much growing pains. Today was the first day. As I mentioned earlier, there was a moment there at the beginning where the registers weren't really working, so there were a couple of places where we weren't able to eat right away, and so we had to skip them, come back to them later, including the Virginia booth. But we tried to show you as many dishes as we could, given the circumstances. If there was any other dishes on the menu that sounded interesting to you, leave a comment below to let us know. If we get enough comments, we might do a part 2 and show some other dishes that we didn't get a chance to show earlier. In the description for this video, I'll be posting a link to the menu that they have on the Busch Gardens Williamsburg website. So if you want to look at your leisure, you can take a look at that website. It lists everything that they have available for you to purchase for the Food and Wine Festival. And also leave a comment below to let us know what your favorite menu items were. There were a lot that sounded good that we didn't have a chance to show today, so I'm hoping there's enough interest that we can do another video and show you some other offerings here. I also wanted to let you know that for the next 2 videos, we'll be finally stepping away from Busch Gardens Williamsburg for a little bit. If you want to know where we're going, you should check out our Instagram video that should be appearing right down below here. It's our brand new Instagram page, and it should tell you some hints as to where we'll be going in the next couple of videos. So I hope you check that out, and I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to that channel, to this channel, and also to the Instagram page. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one at a different park. Thanks for watching, but the fun's not over yet. Click the box in front of my face for another fun video, or click my tree to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another video.